If you fail to start your LLC the right way from the beginning, you could end up losing all of your personal assets. This includes your car, your wages, your personal money, and even your kids. Well, maybe not your kids, but all of your personal assets could be lost. Don't worry. By the end of this video, you're going to have a step-by-step guide to form your LLC the legal way, protecting your personal assets. I've started over 2,000 LLCs for my clients across the country, like this entrepreneur and this business owner. And sadly, most entrepreneurs miss the right steps, especially the last one. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through my 3-step process I call GRO, or GROW. And the best way to do this is to talk about, well, cake. Not only because I love cake, but because it helps illustrate the LLC process. The first step is gathering, pulling all of the required information together. Just like in baking a cake where you need to gather all of the ingredients and measure them out, you'll inevitably screw the recipe up if you don't do that. And in the LLC process, you must gather all of the necessary documents as well. So first, choose a name. Most states require your LLC name to be distinguished from another LLC filed in that state. What does this actually mean though? Well, it depends on each state's laws, but generally, your name can't be the same or very similar to another name in that state. To search, simply go to the Secretary of State's Business Services section of the website and enter in your proposed name in the Business Search tab. If the name is available, in some states, you'll even be able to pay a fee to reserve the name if you aren't ready to file the LLC yet. Also, most states will require the LLC name to end with the letters LLC or L period, C period, or limited liability company to designate its status. Second, choose the registered agent. Each LLC is required to have what's called a registered agent, whose job is to collect legal or government documents served on the LLC. The agent could be an individual owner of the LLC like you, or a third-party individual, or a third-party company. The registered agent just needs to be located in your state and should be at the address they list during business hours. If you want to stay private, or you can't commit to being at your address during business hours, I'd recommend hiring a company to act as the registered agent. I'll drop my favorite registered agent to use in the description below. Third, choose an address for the LLC. Factors to consider and what address to use are privacy and what type of business you're running. If you're operating out of your home and you want your address to be private, I'd recommend getting a box at your local UPS store, similar to a P.O. box. You could also get an online virtual address as well. If your type of business requires an actual physical address, you may not be able to use a box or a virtual address. If you're running an e-commerce business, for example, and have a ton of inventory, returns, etc., a UPS box may not be feasible. You may need to use a physical address even if it is your home. If you have a designated physical office address for your business, this is the address you should use. Fourth, choose whether your LLC will be manager or member managed. LLCs can be managed by managers that can be current members, owners of the LLC, or individuals or companies that aren't members or owners. In a manager-managed LLC, the owners hire managers to run the business. Managers typically receive a salary for their work. A manager could be a member, an outside individual, an LLC, a corporation, a management company, or any combination thereof. In any case, in a manager-managed LLC, members cede some decision-making power to the managers. The manager sits in the driver's seats and the members take on a more passive role. Or in the case of cake baking, the manager is like the chef that controls the kitchen, who designates what duties and how the cake making process will go. The LLC can also just be managed by the members. A member-managed LLC is just what it sounds like, an LLC managed by the members or owners. The members make decisions about day-to-day operations together. What will your marketing strategy be? Where will your business bank be? Whether there will be chocolate or rainbow sprinkles on the cake. You get it. In many states, member-managed LLCs are the default. This means that if you don't specify otherwise in your LLC operating agreement or articles of organization, your LLC will automatically be member managed. Now, before we move on to the next phase, I ask that you smash that subscribe button below. If you want more cake and legal strategies to help you grow your business and avoid costly lawsuits, I upload multiple videos every week about these strategies. Step 2 in GROW is the registration or filing phase. Going back to cake, because why not? You get to look at it on the screen. Each ingredient serves a particular purpose and needs to be added and mixed in a certain order for the cake to bake successfully. Similarly with the LLC, each document needs to be prepared and filed in a certain way. First, you need to file what's called the Articles of Organization with your Secretary of State. Some states call it the Certificate of Formation or the Certificate of Organization. An LLC doesn't legally exist until you file the Articles of Organization and have them approved by the state. This normally can be done online, and each state has its own requirements for what information needs to be included, such as the LLC name, mailing address, registered agent information, and whether the LLC is manager or member managed. All of the things we gathered in the first step. The articles provide a public record of the LLC's existence. Second, File the EIN application online with the IRS. This is the LLC's federal tax ID number. Just like your social security number for your business, you will need to let the IRS know whether there is one member of the LLC or more than one. This will determine how the LLC will be taxed. As a sole member, the default will be taxed as what's called a disregarded entity. All that income or loss at the end of the year will just flow through to the owner's personal tax return. A quick tip is you always want to choose to receive the EIN online and not in the mail. You will receive it instantaneously as opposed to about 3 to 4 weeks in the mail. Third, set up the LLC business bank account. You'll need your filed articles of organization and your EIN to do so. I usually recommend using your local bank that you use for your personal accounts. It's just easier, well organized, it keeps it simple. Others may prefer to use an online account like Mercury or Novo, but the choice is really up to you. Fourth, register the LLC with your state Department of Revenue or comptroller for state income tax purposes. If your state doesn't have state income taxes, you can skip this step. And, well, you're lucky. Similarly to the EIN, the LLC will receive a state income tax number to be used for state income tax returns and other documents that the state needs for tax purposes. Fifth, register the LLC with your state Department of Revenue for sales tax if your business is required to collect sales tax, such as an e-commerce business. This is also called a seller permit. Six, register with your city and/or county for any required business licenses. Depending upon what type of business you operate, you may be required to hold and pay for a separate business license with your city and/or your county. For example, some cities require e-commerce businesses to have license if they operate out of their homes. The third step in GROW is the operating phase. This is the step most business owners miss. Once the metaphorical cake is out of the oven, you add frosting. In the same way, after setting up your LLC, you gain liability protection. Just as frosting adds an extra layer of flavor and appeal to the cake, proper liability protection enhances your business's appeal to potential partners and investors. The frosting for the LLC is what's called the operating agreement, which is the principal governing document of the LLC. Although the filing of the articles of organization legally creates an LLC, it won't contain much information. The agreement of the members and managers, if it's manager-managed, relating to internal governance of the LLC, along with the agreement among the members regarding their business relationship, is contained in the operating agreement. Why would you need this if there was, say, only one member? Well, a few reasons. First, remember that the benefit of an LLC is personal liability protection. If you don't run your LLC correctly, you could lose that protection. For example, not separating yourself from the LLC or commingling everything. The operating agreement can act as evidence that the LLC is separate from yourself, and in case of a lawsuit, your personal assets will be protected, just like the frosting provides that extra layer. Also, without an operating agreement, the LLC is strictly controlled by the state's LLC Act. Your operating agreement is allowed to alter most provisions of the Act if they don't fit into how you want the LLC to operate. And if you want to bring new members or investors, the operating agreement will give you an advantage, showing them that how serious of a business owner you are, and will show you as a serious business owner an overall brand. Speaking of brand, knowing how to choose a strong brand name is vital to your business, which I go over in this video here. Now, go serve your cake.